Okay. All right, we're going to call the meeting to order at this time. Well, good evening. It's Thursday, June 20th. It's June 20th already, and the year just started. Here we are, 6:30, and we would like to welcome you all to the Village Council meeting of Royal Palm Beach. Would you all just stand and join us in the Pledge of Allegiance, please? Thank you. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Diane, please let the record show that all members of council are present this evening. And we have an interesting agenda this evening, starting out with a very important update from our legislature update by Senator Bobby Powell. So, Senator, I'll turn it over to you at this time.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor, and thank you, council members, for this opportunity to present to you. As you know, prior to going to session,
Press the button. Green.
Now you got to start over.
No. You're good.
You're good.
good. As you all know, prior to going to session this year, we had a series of town halls, one in the north, one in the middle of the district, and then one here in Royal Palm Beach, the best part of the district. And to follow up with that, we are done with session, 61 days this year. Generally, we call session the most dangerous 60 days of the year. We had an opportunity. We had a new governor, a new Senate president, and a new Speaker of the House. So it was a new opportunity to get some things done in Tallahassee this year. And I think for the most part, you should be pleasantly pleased with some of the things that we're able to accomplish. There's no real further damage to home rule, and we were able to move forward some particular pieces of legislation that I think are important, as well as a very special appropriation for the town or the village of Royal Palm Beach. So to get things started, I'll just give you an overview real quick. My name is Bobby Powell Jr., State Senator for Senate District 30. I am the Vice Chair of the Appropriation Subcommittee on Agriculture, Environment, and General Government. That is the committee that deals with a lot of the water projects. Not to make light of the situation, but I can tell you as the Vice Chair of this committee, I was one of the members of the Senate who was able to be very handy and helpful in bringing home a good proportion of water projects to our district for Palm Beach County. And the chair, Senator Debbie Mayfield, quickly reminded me of that several times as I was in her office. I also sit on Finance and Tax, Ethics and Elections, the full Appropriations Committee, which is important because that deals with every appropriation of the $91.1 billion budget that was passed. I also am the alternating chair on the Joint Committee of Public Oversight. This year, as you may know, here in Palm Beach County, we are number 49 in the nation, in not just Palm Beach County, but the state of Florida. We're 49th in the nation in terms of mental health funding. I had an event with Senator Berman yesterday where she said she believes that we've gone down to 50th. Being that we are the third largest state in the union, that's a problem. We need to take care of our most vulnerable populations, and I can tell you, and I've said it at many of the rounds that I've made, that we are all just one incident away from a mental health crisis. I've seen people in my family suffer from mental illness, and many of us have seen people from our families or close relatives or close friends suffer with a mental health crisis. If we fund it, if we work towards a solution or help mitigate some of those circumstances, what we can do is prevent those issues, and we need to make sure that we continue to push and advocate for additional funding. This bill, Senate Bill 1418, I work with Representative David Silvers to implement recommendations of the DCF Task Force dealing with the Baker Act and several other forces, and this involved minors when it comes to the Baker Act. We also passed a public records exemption for that same particular legislation as a companion. One of the reasons we're able to do this is because it helps to destigmatize that issue. And when somebody has a mental health crisis, it could be an elected official. If you have a mental health issue, you are sometimes afraid to seek treatment because we can have our records examined, and who wants to see their mental health stuff brought up in a campaign? So it's very, very dangerous. We were able to pass that. I fixed it. Not really. A bill with regard to judicial process of servers that also dealt with less pendants legislation. It was original less pendants. We amended that bill to have judicial process. It's a lot of cleanup language. The bulk of the bill deals with less pendants action. If something is in less pendants going through foreclosure, it allows for that to go through the entire process without having someone to be able to put a lien while it's in the process. Senate Bill 642, Administration of Justice. This was a bill related to the Florida First Step Act. It comes down from the federal First Step Act in terms of a lot of the criminal justice reforms that are being pushed in the federal government. Some of these nonviolent offenses being able to relieve members of society. What was important for that is we were able to amend our direct file legislation onto there, and that allows for repeal of mandatory direct file of children in the adult prison system or adult court system. What that is kids between 14 and 17 being direct filed into the adult system. This allows for some restructuring of that. We've still got work to do on that because at one point, Florida was, in different areas of Florida, we're #1 in the nation. At one time it was Palm Beach County, another time it was Pinellas County, other times it's been Duval County. And when I say in the nation, that means that states like California and Texas, which have larger populations than us, we were direct filing more kids than those states. As a matter of fact, we still are direct filing more. I had a meeting with one of the prosecutors. He said, well, the numbers have dropped. Last year we only, and I'm quoting what I think I remember, last year we only had 949 direct files. And I said, well, compare that to what happened in California. We're still #1. So even though the numbers have gone down, you can show me statistics, but sometimes statistics look good, but what's the comparison? We go into our appropriations requests. We had $10.5 million that I was able to work with our different representatives in the House to bring back to the district. Part of that is we had money in the budget for FAU, Max Planck Florida Scientific Fellows Program, almost $1 million. And in that same silo, we had reading programs for both Riviera Beach and Mangonia Park. We get down to the agricultural area where I'm a major part of that particular committee. We had a $700,000 ask and request. We had more than this for the ask. We had over $1 million that we asked for. We almost asked for twice, but we got $700,000 for the Loxahatchee River Preserve Initiative. For Palm Beach Gardens, we asked for $500,000. We got $300,000. For the Loggerhead Marine Life Center, we asked for $250,000, and we got that. Actually, I believe we asked for $1 million, if I'm not mistaken. And then for Royal Palm Beach, the Canal System Rehabilitation, we asked for $500,000, and we actually got $500,000. So we were able to do very well there for Royal Palm Beach, following up with monies that we had gotten previously for this particular canal system.
We'll be on line item vetoes, right?
No. Not yet, but remember this. I made several calls to the governor and his staff, and I talked to them. The governor has indicated that water projects are very important. We've spent upwards of $680 million this year in terms of water projects and, restoration of our environment. So this area of the budget should be very, very important to our governor. And on that same token, you have a very, very good lobbyist in terms of Ron Book, who has also been going to the governor. You've got a good team from Palm Beach County, which is inclusive of Vicki Nolan and Rebecca Dolorosa, as well as the Palm Beach County Administrator Todd Bonlaren. And I'll also admit we had our county commissioner who was up there several times to make sure she brought reinforcements, Melissa McKinley, who's been up there. So we've got a good team. We got an all-star team that has been hitting the governor. So we're going to keep our fingers crossed and hopefully ensure that he does not veto this particular area.
Well, we'd like to say thank you to you and the entire team for their help and support, and hopefully we'll get it through.
Absolutely. Thank you for making sure we know what we need. And I can't forget Nasby, who is, this is his first year as a full-time staff member. Him and Tomas, my other staff member in Tallahassee, They have really, really jumped in, learned that budget process, have learned who the players are, been in and out of those rooms and have talked to people, and we've really learned really quickly how to get some things done, and we're already preparing for next year. So the minute we leave here today, if you've got requests for next year,
Okay.
let's get with the team and let's start, because it's the early bird that gets the
Gets
work.
to work. We'll do that.
Thank you. Tourism, transportation, economic development. We got $150,000 for an African American History Museum and Library in West Palm Beach. A couple dollars for, I said couple, $30,000 almost for the town of Lake Park for road restriping. Belglade got $3.25 million for a community recreation center, which was badly needed. And then the town of Waxahachie Groves, which is pretty close to here, got $47,500 for the equestrian trail. Criminal justice issues, $150,000 for West Palm Beach Incident Command Vehicle. And then for the entirety of the state of Florida, we're able to help get $3.6 million for all of the boys and girls clubs, including the boys and girls clubs that are here in Royal Palm Beach. So we're able to help keep those programs moving. I talked about health and human services. I talked about mental health. We got $100,000 in the budget for Jerome Golden this year, our Palm Beach County area that deals with people who have mental health issues. Previously, we'd gotten up to $500,000 for this particular entity, and the fact that we've gone down to 100 is pretty sore, and we know we need to continue to advocate in the area. I've done so. I've talked to the governor. I've talked to the Senate president, and I want to make sure that next year it's an area that's pushed. We have to continue to push. We put additional funding in some of the bills related to Marjorie Stoneman Douglas in the MSD Act for schools to have additional health and safety and health facilities. But what about those people who are not in school? So we have to put some focus on that, and I'm working with our legislature to make sure we do that. Major bills, 7123 sales tax holiday and charter school tax referendum. That the tax bill deals with a lot of the cuts that you'll see: the hurricane relief tax day, the back to school sales tax holiday, and also tacked onto that bill was language related to the amendment that we passed related to sales. I think it's sales tax, where we're taking non-charter public schools and allowing for additional funding through that source. We pushed through the legislature a bill that the charter schools want to make sure they're able to get some of that money. However, for Palm Beach County, our language was specific, and I had conversations with many of the charter school proponents as well as charter school principals who wanted me to support language or support a bill that would allow them to have some of the money. However, I know that when the citizens here in Palm Beach County voted, and I know our citizens are smart, they read that it said in the language specifically, non-charter public schools. So that moves forward the way it is now. However, in the future, if we do anything like that or any further amendments, the legislature has reserved the right to say that it will include charter schools. Elections Administration and Amendment 4, we had some cleanup language with regard to the elections bill this year, but because of what happened in the late counts that we saw, but we also had Amendment 4, implementing language that says finish the sentence, the close of sentence, or until all terms of the sentence are complete. What that means is if someone has fines, fees, or restitution to pay, they will have to do that before they're allowed to register to vote. The problem with that right now is we've been telling people to go ahead and get registered, because right now the state doesn't have a mechanism in place or a tool to look at to tell if someone has finished their fines, fees, or restitution. We'll have to finish or figure out how to create that tool and how much money that's going to cost. Implementation of the legislative recommendations from Marjorie Stoneman Douglas. This bill has some good stuff in it. However, the biggest part of the bill that many of us or many of you may have heard about was that it now allows teachers to carry guns if they've had the opportunity to have 132 hours of training. The problem with that is, and I brought this up on the floor, school districts along with the sheriff's office can opt out. Well, the example that many of my colleagues used is there was a coach at Parkland And if this coach would have had a gun, then he could have stopped these murders. We passed this legislation with the implication and the impetus that certain school districts wouldn't have it. Amongst those school districts were Broward, Palm Beach County, Miami-Dade. So we can use it and say that, well, if this coach or this teacher would have been allowed to have a gun, then this wouldn't have happened. Even with the language that we push forward, guess what? In that county, in that area, the teacher or the coach still will not be allowed to carry a gun. So it's just a play on words. We spend a lot of time in Tallahassee fighting for anything related to guns or related to the Second Amendment rights. And I think I am a proponent of the Second Amendment, but some of the things that we're doing start to get a little bit outrageous. Prescription drug importation program. This is a bill that you may have heard about. They've done a lot of advertisement. The Canadian drug bill, where we'll be importing drugs from Canada to the United States. Right now, that we passed this only for the most vulnerable populations, meaning people who are in jail or on Medicaid. It probably won't happen yet because the federal government still has to, the FDA still has to approve these drugs that come out of Canada, and they have to test all of them. I think this was the first step to try to put some of the pharmaceutical companies on notice that there will be competition. Some of the drug prices here in the state of Florida, in this country, period, are too expensive and people just can't afford to live. So this was the legislature's way of pushing in order to try to get some of these drug prices to come down, and this has been a first step. We'll see how far it goes. Additionally, we had a K through 12 education program that dealt with school vouchers that now allows for students to have opportunities for vouchers, but this time, previously it was a corporate tax from corporate income tax. A business could pay a corporate tax and that money would be used for vouchers. This is the first time we'll use general operating funds or general revenues to fund some of those vouchers. Transportation corridors. This was another big issue that dealt with roads across the state where there'll be potentially new toll roads. We passed Senate Bill 182 early in session. That was the use of medical marijuana being smoked. So the governor really wanted to see that happen. So we passed legislation that will allow people who have who are allowed to have medical marijuana to be able to smoke it. And then federal immigration enforcement. This bill was recently signed by the governor. It outlaws what we call sanctuary cities in the state of Florida. It doesn't allow any city to put forth sanctuary policies and make sure or forces cities to have to cooperate with the federal government if there's any inquiry with regard to the immigrant population. The biggest part of this bill was the sponsor continued to label it as we moved in the legislature as criminal illegal aliens, and that has some real implications for a lot of people in this country, not just people who are undocumented, but people who are here as documented immigrants or people who are generations removed from when they came to this country. So we've just got to be careful what we're doing in Tallahassee. This was a bill that took us a couple days to work through. There were over 200 amendments on this particular bill, and it was one of the toughest days that we faced in the legislature this year. Overall, quick snapshot of the budget. This year we spent $34.7 billion in education. For the first time in a long time, education has increased over $30 billion, $7,672 per student, a 243 or 3.27% increase over the current budget. And I think the per student funding increased this year by $142 a student, which is much more than the 47 cents it increased per student last year. Public education, PICO dollars, we had a lot of money in PICO dollars. You see traditional public schools won't get any additional PICO dollars, but charter schools will have another $158 million. And then the public school special facilities will get $32.35 million. $3.99 billion is being spent this year, almost $4 billion in the environment. In that, you'll see that we have $687 million for water quality, including restoration of the Everglades. A lot of that also in that particular area, particular silo, includes our water projects, that $500,000 that we're bringing back here, as well as the other areas of Palm Beach County, and a lot of septic to sewer conversions will be used, and that's a lot of grant funding that will go towards that so that we can clear up some of our waterways. Healthcare, the biggest area of our budget every year, in the state of Florida, that's not going to change as our population continues to get older and people still have health issues. $37.67 billion in terms of health care. Economic development, $15.2 billion. You'll see we put additional funding in there this year for Visit Florida, which was almost wiped out. And then $200 million in affordable housing. A lot of that affordable housing money went towards Hurricane Michael on the West Coast, the Western Panhandle area, because right now people are still living in tents. A lot of the people up there did not have insurance on their homes because their homes were paid off. And it's one of the lower populated areas in the state, and they were not prepared for this category or catastrophic type of storm that hit. So the state government pitched in. We're still waiting on our return from the federal government. And then that is our general gist of the entirety of the budget. That's our quick overview of the entirety of the 2019 Florida legislative session. If you have any questions for me and would like to contact me, you can reach me at 561-650-6880. And my staff, including Nosby Chowdhury, who is here today, Nosby can be reached at chowdhury.nosby@flsenate.gov, as well as my other team members, Miss Marianne Dozier, who is not here today, as well as Tomas Alcala. If you have any questions, I am here ready and willing to answer and push forward.
I have a couple.
Go.
Senator Powell, so great to see you. Thank you for the very extensive update. Always good to hear all the work you're doing in Tallahassee. So you mentioned we're ranked, you think, 49 or 50th in mental health. How do we rank in health overall, if we know that, or in education?
I think in terms of education, when I read the numbers previously, unfortunately this year I didn't sit on any education committees. I believe we're in our 40s in education as well. We're not the highest level in terms of education. I have to get Nosby to get back and get those answers for you. And then also in terms of health overall, because we're a highly populated state with a large elderly population, there's been some challenges to that. So that's another thing that I have to get the exact numbers for you as well. We do not sit very high on either one of those, I can tell you.
Okay, thank you for that. And then one other question regarding Visit Florida. What do you think is going to be the future of that? Do you have any? I know you don't have a crystal ball, but I'm just curious.
Visit Florida, I believe, every year there's a challenge to it. I think it's necessary that we continue to fund Visit Florida because it's the tourism that we bring back to the state of Florida. We also have Visit Florida as well as our which is our tourism arm, and we have another entity that works with Visit Florida to make sure that we're kind of getting those things out. There's been speakers of the House who have not liked Visit Florida. As a matter of fact, the speaker had kind of defunded it this year, but that's why we have the backstop that is called the Senate to make sure that it is funded. So we work back and forth, the checks and balances. I think that Visit Florida will continue to exist. If the governor had any different plans, he would have taken it out of his budget, or he would have reorganized that particular entity, which he had an opportunity to do. So I think at least for the next year, we'll see Visit Florida will be funded again. I cannot tell you past Senate President Galvano or Speaker Oliva what will happen. But if it depends on the Speaker and the Senate President when they get up, what they want to do or how they want to handle Visit Florida. But I believe that we'll see Visit Florida at least funded again through the next cycle.
Thank you. Thank you for being here.
You're welcome. Thank you for having me.
Selena.
I just want to say thank you again for all of your work up there, and I appreciate it. And I know Councilwoman Rodusky, when we came up to see you during Palm Beach County Days, and your staff was amazing. So thank you very much for taking the time and for always advocating for us. And I appreciate the work that you're doing on the mental health portion as well. And Miss Mary Lou's cook is Miss South Florida Fair, who's going up to Orlando for Miss Florida, and that is her platform, is mental health. So if she is the title winner of Miss Florida, she plans on working around the state with that as well. So thank you very much for your work with that.
Thank you. Thank you very much. And let me just say this. For everybody who did come up to Palm Beach County Days, it was amazing, a great opportunity to see you all, but also you had the opportunity to meet some of our colleagues who can now put a face on the towns that we're advocating for, and they do remember. So when we go back and we say, hey, listen, this is the village of Royal Palm Beach, this is one of my areas where they're very active, and I really need your help in terms of making sure that we get this funding. Remember, they came to see you. It makes a difference. It's hard sometimes when I'm going to a chairperson about an appropriation or about a bill related to a different area, and I say, this is a very important part of my district, and I need you to help them because they're active for me. If they have not met these people, sometimes they just, well, if it was so important, why didn't they come see me themselves?
Sure.
So Tallahassee's a weird place, but it's always important for you all to come up and advocate on your own behalf as well. Thank you.
Okay. Richard, Jeff? No? Thank you so much. Very, very information-rich presentation, and we appreciate all the hard work you do and the help that you provided this year for the village. So thanks so much for coming tonight.
Thank you all for having me, and anytime you need me, I'm available, and I've got my staff here who are willing, ready to work for all of the citizens, all of the employees, and definitely all of the members of the administrative body here. Thank you all so much.
Would you like to have a photo op right now?
Please.
Okay.
It is. Oh, I'm squeezing in. You can't get boy. Come on. No, you're good. You're good. Boy, girl, governor, girl.
Okay. Get the agenda back up here. All right, right now we're going to be graced with an update presentation from Chief Ellis from the Palm Beach County. What happened? What was that? Oh, God bless you. Chief Ellis from Palm Beach County Fire Rescue and Medical Services. Thanks for coming this evening, Chief.
All right, thank you. Hello, good evening. It's tough following a politician. I'm definitely not a good speaker, right? But I will be available for pictures after. First of all, Palm Beach, I'm honored to be here on behalf of Chief Duran, our new fire chief, and Chief Raleigh, your local district chief. I'm Richard Ellis. I'm in charge. I'm the division chief of medical services for Palm Beach County, and medical services under one area under my section is EMS. And as you may be aware from Chief Raleigh's presentation a few weeks ago, we currently run about 140,000 calls a year in Palm Beach County, and about 110,000 of them are medical calls, and that comes under my jurisdiction. And I'm going to just talk a little bit about it. One, you should be very proud to be served by Palm Beach County Fire Rescue. I know I'm proud to work for them. We have some of the best paramedics in the county and the best medical director in the state. In fact, our medical director, Dr. Ken Shepke, he has been named the state medical director, so we're really lucky to have that. We have, I'm going to talk about a little bit about our stroke alerts, our STEMI alerts, sepsis alert, and trauma alerts. As you know, Palm Beach County, in Palm Beach County, there are 2 level 1 trauma centers serving in this area. And here, I believe, George, they go to St. Mary's, correct? George is one of our EMS captains, and mostly they're flown out there, and we're lucky to have that. But let's talk about STEMI alerts and stroke alerts. You have Palms West Hospital around the corner here and Wellington Hospital. Both of those are certified STEMI centers, and Wellington Hospital just about a year and a half ago became a stroke center. And so we're able to provide that level of care for the residents of Royal Palm Beach. In Palm Beach County, there's, I think, 9 STEMI hospitals and 6 registered comprehensive stroke centers. And so we're lucky to have that. And recently, you had Westlake ER, standalone ER, open up in off Persimmon Boulevard or Seminole Pratt up there. And so that's another way we're better able to serve the residents of Palm Beach County. Cardiac arrest cases, we have right now, we're running about 35 to 40% ROSC rates. ROSC is return of spontaneous circulation. So that means if someone has a cardiac arrest, there's about a 35 to 40% chance that we're able to get pulses back. That's almost double the state average. The state average is around 15 to 20%, and so we're really lucky to have that. And we're able to do that. We have really innovative protocols. A few years ago, we started a heads-up CPR protocol, and we practice hands-only CPR. We don't do the American Heart. We do compressions and ventilations. We do hands-only CPR before we start the ventilations after 8 minutes. We found that to be better. And we'll also put our patients in a heads-up position like this. We're just starting a new protocol in one of our areas, and it's getting ready to expand. It has a piece of equipment called the EleGuard that will automatically elevate the patient's head. And we find that when you do that, you can actually return to almost normal brain function while we're doing CPR on a patient. And so our goal with that is not only to increase our ROSC rates, return to spontaneous circulation, but also increase the amount of times that patients are neurologically intact and able to walk out of the hospital. It used to be, you know, George is an old timer like me, and it used to be very rare. It used to be very rare. Yeah, he is. It used to be rare that a patient suffering a cardiac arrest would walk out of the hospital. But currently, right now, in Palm Beach County, it's about 10%. But it happens so frequently now that the hospitals have reunions for cardiac arrest patients. Wellington just had one about a month ago. It was a cardiac arrest at Flanagan's, and they were able to revive them, and the patient walked out of the hospital about 4 days later. So that a lot of that is through innovation of our protocols. It's through our dispatch, getting hands on the chest quickly so we can practice, get the hands on the CPR quicker for the patients. We got a couple other innovative things in Palm Beach County. About 6 months ago, we started ultrasounds. I think we're the only agency in the county that, I know we're the only agency in the county that has ultrasounds, and we might be one of the only agencies in Florida. Currently, we only have one station that has it, but we just got a grant for 4 more ultrasounds. So our paramedics are, during a cardiac arrest call, they're able to actually look at the heart to see what the heart is doing. And then we can also use it for trauma calls. And so far, that's been very effective in also increasing our survival rates from both trauma and cardiac arrest patients. I mentioned sepsis alerts a little bit earlier. We're the only department in Florida, and might be the only one in the country that we are aware of, that if a patient is in septic shock, we give antibiotics on scene. Studies have shown the quicker you can give a patient that is in septic shock antibiotics, the better their survival rates are. So we started doing that in November, and currently we run about 20 to 30 of those patients a month countywide. We're able to give antibiotics on scene. So that's just some of the exciting things we have going on the EMS side in Palm Beach County. But like I said, I'm the Division Chief of Medical Services. There's a whole nother side, and that's our mobile integrated health side. And I'm going to touch on, wish the Senator was still here, I'm going to talk a little bit about mental health, because we have a lot of those issues in Palm Beach County too that Palm Beach County Fire Rescue deals with. Our mobile integrated health side, we're one of the few fire departments around the country that are doing it, and we're the only fire department I'm aware of that we hired a full-time social worker on staff for Palm Beach County. In fact, we have 1 full-time and 3 part-time social workers, and we're looking to add more. Like I mentioned, we have about 110,000 calls a year, 110,000 medical calls a year. But what I didn't know when I got hired is some of these patients call frequently. We'll have patients that call 911 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70 times a year. And And obviously something's going on there. It's not just medical problems that is causing a patient to call 911 that often. And so what we've done is we've created a system, and inside our mobile integrated health program, we have a high frequency utilizer. So we identify a high frequency utilizer program. We identify our frequent callers, and then we send our mobile integrated health team, which consists of a social worker and a paramedic, to go visit the patient to try to identify what their needs are. And we have found about 80% of those patients either have some sort of mental health issue or a social service issue that is not being addressed, and our social worker is able to do that. And it's been very effective so far. To give you an example, we had a patient that had called 911 21 times in a 6-month period. Our team went out there. They went out there 4 or 5 times, and the patient was just having problems adjusting their medications, and they had some equipment problems that they needed. After our team visited, over the last 6 months, they've only called 911 1 time. And so overall, and so that's a big relief for the crews on scene. They don't have to see that patient over and over again. But our number one priority is the patient. We're getting the patient the help they need. I'm proud to say that we're one of the only departments around the country doing programs like this. Like I said, we're the only ones that hired a full-time social worker. We expect to see about 2,400 patients that have called about 2,400 times throughout the year. We're reducing our 911 calls at about a 65% rate on the patients we see. So we think countywide at our projections that we're doing now, we'll be able to eliminate 1,600 911 calls from the system. And a lot of these are patients that might have mental health issues. What that does is now that 1,600 more times our frontline rescues are more available for true emergencies. It's 1,600 less times they're out on the road going code 3, which is very dangerous, and 1,600 less times for our crews that have injuries or something like that. But also there's a financial impact. Of those 1,600 calls we're able to eliminate, we estimate about 800 of them would have been transported to the hospital. Well, the average ER visit is $4,000 in Palm Beach County, including the ER visit plus the transportation costs. And so if we're able to eliminate that, we're able to save the healthcare community, healthcare dollars. That's $3.2 million a year saved in healthcare dollars. But that money is not our motivation for doing this. Our motivation is to truly help the citizens we serve, to help them get the help they need, because nobody should be calling 911 10, 15, 20, 50 times a year. Something's going on. And so far it's been very effective. Other programs under our mobile integrated health program, we have the high frequency utilizer program. We also have an addiction protocol. As you know, addiction is a big problem in Palm Beach County. The numbers are going down, but they're still fairly high. Our mobile integrated health team with the social worker and the paramedic reach out to every patient that calls 911 that has an addiction problem. We'll follow up with them to connect them to resources. We're the only agency around here doing that, so if someone in Royal Palm has an addiction problem, calls 911, our social worker will follow up with them to make sure they get help that they need or offer them help that they need. We also have a paramedic referral program. Our paramedics come across patients that are hoarders or have other needs that aren't being addressed, or it could be a patient that suffered a severe loss that needs help, grief and emotional support. We get about 150 of those a month right now. Just recently, fortunate it wasn't here in Royal Palm, down in Boca, a 12-year-old had a cardiac arrest. The team reached out to and passed away. The team reached out to the family, our social worker, and they offered them grief and emotional support. So they're very supportive of the efforts of Palm Beach County Fire Rescue to help them through this. And those services, of course, are offered for the Village of Royal Palm, too. We also have a pregnancy outreach program. We serve on a committee called FEMR. It's Fetal Infant Mortality Review Board that looks at patients in Palm Beach County that had a fetal or infant death. And we recognize that a lot of the problems was the mother was not getting services that they could have been offered to them. There was a gap. They weren't seeing doctors or whatever. So right now, every time a Palm Beach County Fire Rescue crew runs on a patient that is pregnant, it gets coded in our system, and then our social worker will follow up on them to make sure they're getting services they are entitled to. And so far that's been pretty successful. We don't run on a lot of the pregnant people, but we have reached out to a few that were not getting services, and then we were able to connect them. And then we're also running a chronic disease management program with our mobile integrated health team. That's a grant-funded program through the state, where our social worker and our paramedics will follow up with patients that were recently discharged from the hospital with CHF, and our goal is to prevent them from being readmitted within 30 days. We'll visit them for a while, and so far I think our percentage, like 75% of the people we've seen, we've been able to keep out of the hospital, which is a pretty good percentage. So that's just a brief overview of some of what we do on the EMS side and some of what we do on our mobile integrated health side, and I'll leave it at that. And unless there's any questions or photos.
Okay, I get it. We're going to take a photo.
No, you don't need to take a photo.
I'm sorry. You sold me.
So any questions on our mobile integrated health or EMS or programs we offer? I know it's going real kind of quick, right?
I have a question.
Yeah.
Thank you, Chief Ellis, for being here. Truly amazing services that you're offering our residents here in Palm Beach County, revolutionary. The heads-up training that you spoke about,
Yep.
is that eligible? Is that available to citizens to
No.
learn that training? I mean, typically we go to American Red Cross and they do the old-fashioned way of CPR, but this new
Right.
heads-up approach sounds like a better way to go.
Right. For the heads-up training CPR, you'd have to when our dispatchers are given CPR, or if you're at home, you want the patient lying flat on the floor. You want our EMS professionals to do the heads-up. The new device we have is a specialized piece of equipment that slowly raises the head over a 2-minute period, and so there's a little bit of technology to it that the better way for the layperson is just flat on the floor, hands only, doing it that way. Right.
Terrific, thank you.
Anyone else? Well, we thank you so much, Chief,
Excellent.
for coming this
All
evening.
right. Thank you. Thank you.
Don't leave. We're going to do the pictures. Let's go.
Yeah, yeah.
Come on.
I think we could all be caught. No, they're too big people. Wait, yeah. You good?
Okay, moving right along. Next on our agenda, we have Happy Time again. I always love when we have an opportunity to recognize many of our long-term, in particular, employees for the village. As I've said many times, our employees, the people who come here for services, the citizens, interact with our employees. And tonight we're going to recognize Kevin Aaron's 15-year service award. Kevin began working for the village in June 21st, 2004 as an associate planner and was promoted to the development review coordinator in October of 2006. Kevin's duties included providing development review and building permit review for the village. Now, this review is integral in ensuring that construction occurs in accordance with the rules set forth in the village's code of ordinances. Many times, this is like close encounters for the third time, because you get people coming in, developers, contractors, and bless you. And they're looking to get their projects done, and many times they have no idea what the rules are, what the ordinance requirements are, Kevin's the one who gets to tell them the reality about that. So it's like being on the front lines, so to speak. All right. During planning and zoning commission meetings, he presents development projects to the commission and provides them with technical assistance as they work through what are often complex projects and issues. Kevin also often works closely with the village residents, helping them through the building permit process, which many times is new to them. Kevin has often been complimented on the customer service he provides for our residents, which is what we all strive to achieve. We want to thank you, Kevin, for your 15 years of service. More photo op.
That's what it is.
You got enough pictures for that, guys?
We get more space in the town crier this way.
We'll see about that.
Just give her options.
Right.
Okay. Okay. Next, we have a proclamation. In case you didn't know it, this is Parks and Recreations Month, and we have a proclamation on behalf of the village. Whereas Parks and Recreation programs enhance our quality of life by contributing to the healthy lifestyle, community building, economic development, and environmental sustainability. And whereas the village's Parks and Recreation Department conducts over 200 recreational, cultural, social, and community events, boosts the economy and attract new families and businesses and reduces crime. It's an interesting font they're using here. Whereas Royal Palm Beach is home to more than 1,000 acres of parks, trails, green space, and preserves, along with 55 miles of paved shared use pathways and 38 miles of designated bicycle lanes that inspire residents and visitors with recreational opportunities and scenic beauty. And whereas recreation builds family unity, strengthens neighborhood involvement, offers opportunities for social interaction, enhances education, develops creativity, and promote cultural diversity. And whereas parks and our trails ensure ecological beauty, provide space to enjoy nature, help maintain clean air and water, preserve plant and wildlife, and whereas local, state, and national parks located within the state of Florida contribute to the overall quality of life enjoyed by residents and visitors to our state, and whereas the National Recreation and Parks Association and the Florida Recreation and Park Association designated July as, it is July, right? Is that June? Okay. We're in the middle of June. I just want to make sure. No, July as Recreation and Parks Month. So now, therefore, on behalf of the Village of Royal Palm Beach, we hereby extend greetings and best wishes to all observing July 2019 as Recreation and Parks Month. Signed this date, the 20th day of June, 2019. So please come forth, Mr. Parks and Recreation Representative. Please join me in another picture.
This is like a world record here.
This is exercise.
When I'm done with my report, can we take a photo?
Yeah. You didn't know you were going to take a photo?
I'm always up.
That's the right attitude.
I know. Tie, no jacket, what the heck?
And Pictures for the night. All right, now we're going to move to reports. And today being June 20th, the third Thursday of the month, this morning we had the Transportation Planning Agency monthly meeting. I just want to share with you a couple highlights that were discussed and actions taken at the meeting today. We did extend, there was a request made by staff to extend the interlocal agreement that we have with the county, Palm Beach County. As you know, the TPA staff agency is transitioning to the independent model, and part of that transition is moving to the new quarters, the new office space, which is targeted for September 30th, 2019. Well, right now, the interlocal agreement that they have with Palm Beach County also terminates on September 30th, 2019. They're required to give a 90-day notice of termination. So the bottom line was they asked to extend this interlocal agreement for a period of time where we will hopefully, if they stay on schedule, they'll be out by the 30th of September. If not, they'll be covered because the interlocal agreement was extended. We also passed our updated fiscal year 20 to 24 Transportation Improvement Plan, commonly known as the TIP. The plan is valued at approximately $2.8 billion over the next 5 years that will be spent on the various roadway and transportation projects that are outlined in our strategic plan for the TPA. And as in past TIPs, West Palm Beach opposed passing the TIP because it includes the completion of the State Road 7 project. So that's consistent. In case we didn't know it, June is a National Safety Month. The TIP has adopted a goal of 0 fatalities and major injuries. This is something we've been talking about. We've mentioned this before. To be consistent with the national MPO requirements or requests, we have adopted for Palm Beach County the goal of 0 fatalities and major accidents and incidents, knowing that it's a goal that we want to reach for, and wouldn't it be wonderful if we could ever get there? But the key is to get that trend going that direction every year, that we're doing things to make the roads safer to travel on within the county. We also were informed that in fact, the staff and the board is encouraging the cities across Palm Beach County to consider becoming designated as a bicycle-friendly community. Apparently, there's an official designation that you can achieve to do that. And what I'd like to do is ask the council, would you agree that we should have the village manager look into this and find out what's involved to achieve that designation, and let us know about that, and then we could move from there?
Yep.
I mean, we do have, 38 miles of bicycle paths, right? So I think, I'm very proud. It's taken many years, but we've really extended in building out bicycle paths within the village. So I think this is something that we probably should look into and see what's involved in getting that designation. And finally, effective on July 1st, 2019, the new law that has been passed will go into effect that will make driving while cell phoning, okay, the term they used was a major offense or primary offense, which means if the police officer thinks you're cell phoning while you're driving, they can pull you over now and you can get a ticket, and it's considered a primary offense now. It's not a minor offense. And I use the term cell phoning because it means any form of playing or using the phone. It's not just texting, it's other things. I think as the state begins implementing this, and they will go through a warning period. I wasn't sure what the warning period is, where in the initial months, if you get pulled over, you'll be given a warning, all right? But there'll be a point where it will be beyond the warnings, and you don't want to be one of the people pulled over for that. But I certainly envision, as the state continues to implement this solution, we will see requirements where hands-free capability will be a requirement to use a phone at all in the car. That's just the natural progression of this. Hopefully, we get the word out to everyone so none of our citizens are caught cell phoning when they're driving. And with that, I'll turn it over to you, Selena.
Good evening, everyone. Actually, I'd like to recognize Mr. Alexander is here in the audience, and he is the first Eagle Scout of Royal Palm Beach Boy Scout Troop 222. So he has other of his fellow Boy Scouts here also. So thanks for joining us today.
Yeah.
I attended the Business Development Board lunch, and they had Dr. Ben Carson there, who's such a dynamic speaker to begin with, but he was also there representing as the Secretary for Department of HUD. So he went through some stuff, and he talked about that the average age of homeowners is now 38 years old, where in the previous generation, it used to be in your 20s. So he's saying is that people are waiting longer before they can either afford home or before they're deciding to purchase their first home. And he's working with, he had an idea is that he's working with credit card companies so that when you get your rewards, instead of it being cash or points or to use things like that, that it could actually go towards home ownership. So a lot of innovative ideas like that instead of that.
So we'll be seeing commercials, take this credit card and get a home.
And get a home. You could, right, exactly, eventually.
Okay.
But then he also talked about financial management to help people set aside money to put in escrow that would be used as a down payment for their home. So it's neat just to see the innovative ideas that they're using. And that the Business Development Board talked about that this fiscal year that they've helped bring over 1,700 jobs to Palm Beach County. So that's just really neat that they're anticipating 2,000 by the end of the year. Spring break meal spot. So we have through our Park and Rec department, we also have, so there's the information out there, as well as I know a lot of local schools are doing it and the public school system throughout Palm Beach County. But that's where any child under the age of 18 can receive a free breakfast and lunch over there. They don't ask questions. You don't have to register. There isn't a financial requirement. It's any child, just because they realize that in the summertime, there are a lot that go without food because they're not in school. Our Royal Palm Beach Community Band is playing on Tuesday the 25th over at the Cultural Center at 7 o'clock. And I know I'm sure others will talk about it, but we have our 60th anniversary reception over at the Cultural Center on Sunday the 30th from 4 to 6, and that's open to the public, so everyone can come on in. And also we have our summer camp through the village is up and running as well. So there are 100 campers registered so far, and they're between the ages of 5 and 14. And then some of the things that they're doing are working on field trips and education programs. And specifically the focus this year for the younger children are anti-bullying and safety, as well as stranger danger and things like that. But then for the older kids, they're working on anti-bullying and vaping. So just talking about the education portion of that as well. And there are 2-week sessions, and there's still room available through the village for that. So thank you.
Good, thank you. Richard.
The only thing is, last month I attended, along with a couple of the other members of council, the graduation from Royal Palm Beach High, and it was extra special to see one of the council's relatives graduating up there. It was very good to see the mayor be able to shake the hand of Ryan Pinto. That was a very touching moment. Out of all the years I've been going, that's my best moment. So I was glad to see that, and tell Ryan congratulations from all of us.
Okay, I'll do that. Thank you.
Yeah. Thank you. So it's interesting that we just got a summary from Senator Powell about what happened in the last session, and guess what? Last Friday, we started planning for the next session because it does start earlier this year. It'll start in January. So the Florida League of Cities Legislative Priorities Committee did their first meeting, and usually, typically what they do is just review the results of the previous session, which is pretty much what was done. Once again, they've got 5 individual committees that take a look at different areas like finance, taxation, land use, economic development, municipal administration, transportation, and utilities and natural resources. The whole idea here is to start with last year, because usually what happens is you get to see these bills again and again and again. And even if they were partially successful last year in the sense of oftentimes eroding our home rule authority, they will come back again and grab at more. And so it's a continual effort to defend our home rule authority, which I think all agree that the government closest to the people are the ones best positioned to make decisions about things. Unfortunately, not everybody sees it that way. And you heard Senator Powell talk about home rule and that we did okay. We can do better. And we're going to have to continue to fight that good fight. We have, as I said, this is just the first meeting. Next meeting is July the 19th. And that's where we'll get serious about down selecting to the specific bills that we are most concerned about or issues we're most concerned about. And then subsequently at the annual meeting of the Florida League of Cities, which will take place in Orlando on the 15th of August, we'll do one more down select where we'll wind up with one major priority for each of the 5 committees and then up to 3 non-major priorities so as to be comprehensive enough. And this is guidance to the Florida League of Cities lobbying team, and they're pretty darn effective. They really are. I mean, it is important for us to show up, and physical presence there is important. These folks live there, and they are there all the time, and it is that constant attention that really ultimately makes a difference, and especially, as Senator Powell was talking about, when you wind up with a bill with 200 amendments, those things start to unfold rapidly, and so unless you're physically there and actually involved, that's why this team is so effective and has been so helpful. So what we wind up doing is providing them with guidance as to what we think are the most important issues for them to go forward with. And then we finally agree on that at the Florida League of Cities Legislative Conference on November the 14th and 15th. So a lot of work ahead of us. Most of what we're seeing so far, no surprise, because it's really early, is what we saw last year. That wasn't passed, and so we'll continue to revisit that, and we'll keep everybody posted on that. Next Wednesday is our chance to show off our cultural center to the Palm Beach County League of Cities, because we'll be doing the first event where we sponsored a luncheon there in 2 years, and so it's I think it's going to be great. Every time somebody walks through that door, it gets the same reaction. You know, they basically in awe, and that'll give the mayor a chance to talk about a slow boat from China again.
I don't know if I'm going to do that.
I mean, hopefully one of these days we'll
We'll
not
get
have
over
to
that.
tell that story.
Yeah, we'll get beyond that.
But the guest speaker at the luncheon will be Bill Johnson, the executive director of Palm Beach County Emergency Management. Very timely, since we're just now entering into hurricane season. So it should be a good meeting, and hopefully you all will be able to make it. Thank you.
Okay.
Great.
Yeah.
Thank you. Good evening, everyone. First, I want to thank the American Legion Post 367 for an outstanding Memorial Day celebration. It was a wonderful morning. So thank you to them for really coordinating that day. And then, as you know, the library system is celebrating their 50th anniversary this year, and June is Fine Forgiveness Month. So you can bring in lost items for overdue fines, forgiveness, and even get a free replacement card. So they want you back. The library is very friendly, and there's that service. And then on July 11th, the Palm Beach County Sheriff's Office is hosting a How to Avoid Scammers, and really important for folks to understand that. So there'll be a presentation on Thursday, July 11th from 6:30 to 8 p.m. at the Cultural Center. And then lastly, July 4th, our Star Spangled Spectacular will be in Commons. It's from 4 to 10. We hope to see you all out there. Thanks.
Great. Boy, July 4th is here already. Isn't it incredible? Yeah. Great.
Yes, it is going to be a busy next 2 weeks. We got the 60th Royal Palm Beach birthday party that Sunday night, June 30th. We're at the Cultural Center from 4 to 7. Tuesday, July 2nd, we're going to have our budget workshop at 6:30, and then of course the 4th of July on July 4th. So the next 2 weeks we've got some good stuff out there. A couple great celebrations and our budget workshop. So that's all, Mayor.
Keith, you're up.
Thank you, Mayor. Very happy to be here. There's no question Royal Palm Beach is the crown jewel of my firm's client list.
Okay.
You guys are.
That's good to
and
know.
I'm glad to be able to be sitting up here with you guys. In terms of just a substantive comment, one of the things the senator did not mention was Senate Bill 1000, which was the telecommunications bill. My understanding is that's sitting on the governor's desk right now. It hasn't been signed, but if it does get signed, it's going to unfortunately unwind a lot of the things that we just put on the books with the telecommunication ordinance last year. So I'm keeping an eye on that. I I don't know what's going to happen, but if it does get passed, then obviously I'm going to have to bring you back a
Is it
revisionary
sitting there
ordinance.
longer than anticipated, that he's got some trepidation about signing?
I don't know. I don't know.
Okay.
He's in Israel,
Huh?
He's in Israel.
He didn't get back yet? Okay,
We'll certainly keep you posted on
good
that.
to know, yeah,
but,
we'll keep an eye on it.
Yeah, thank you.
Okay. All right, that will conclude our reports for this evening. At this time, if anyone has a petition they'd like to present to the council, now would be the time to do that. Seeing none, and I'm closing any acceptance of petitions now. I do not have any comment cards for statements from the public on non-agenda items or items on a consent agenda. But if anyone here would like to comment on a non-agenda item or a consent agenda item, now would be the time. Okay, seeing none, then I'm closing public comments for statements, comments on non-agenda items and consent agenda items. And with that, Diane, can you give us the consent agenda?
Yes, Mayor, I will. Thank you. Number 1, approval of the minutes of the council regular meeting of May 16, 2019. 2, approval and authorization in accordance with established policy to make a budget amendment for Fund 303 in the fiscal year 2018-2019 budget. Said amendment to transfer a total of $50,000 from undesignated fund balance 0100 to Sporting Center Improvements PR 1819. 3, approval and authorization for the village manager to enter into a professional services agreement for electrical engineering services with Smith Engineering Consultants, Incorporated. 4, approval and authorization for the village manager to enter into a professional services agreement for surveying services with Langen Engineering and Environmental Services, Incorporated, for various projects in the village of Royal Palm Beach. And 5, approval of the bid award in the amount of $654,885.72 and authorization for the village manager to execute a contract with the lowest responsible bidder for project EN 1601, village-wide ADA sidewalks with Providian Construction Group, Incorporated.
Okay, thank you. Selena, you had a question?
I just wanted to pull one of the items.
Sure,
Maybe pull number 5, please.
okay. Any other questions from members of council? If there are none, I'll look for a motion.
Move to approve the consent agenda items 1, 2, 3, and 4.
Okay.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Diane, please let the record show that consent agenda items 1 through 4 were approved. And Selena?
Actually, I'd just like to ask, the village engineer to come up and just give us a quick overview of what they're doing and funding from it and the purpose of it. Thanks.
Hello, everyone. So this is ADA improvements. It's going to be in the Colony, Willows, and Counterpoint. So, and what this involves is 86 individual sidewalk extensions to improve connectivity in the neighborhoods, and to in some areas add detectable warning and improve cross slopes of the walkways. There was a grant in the amount of $649,583. And for this project, currently the village will be paying about $11,000 out of our funds. So
That's music to my ears. Yes.
So we did a good job leveraging.
If the council remembers, a couple of years ago, we did kind of an ADA study throughout the entire village of areas that we can improve, and having that study and then using that study to ask for grants and turn them into projects is where this is, and we'll continue to do this with the results of that study.
And there was an addition of sidewalks in, as well as the corners and safety for that was correct?
There is a segment in Counterpoint that we'll be constructing, a 10-foot wide sidewalk. So, but it's mainly the short connections, so people don't have to exit onto the roadway through a driveway, cross the intersection, and outside the stop sign, stop bar, and then come back in. So this will make it a smoother ride for children going to bus stops and and pedestrians going to parks or the businesses in those areas. So
A lot of the Willows don't have sidewalks, so what are you doing there?
this is the section of Willows that does have sidewalks.
Okay.
So unless we get direction to add sidewalks in the Willows.
Well, no, we won't go down that path.
It's a whole nother discussion.
And we do kind of have a phase 2 of this project coming up, and I'll go over that in the CIP workshop. So we will be seeking additional grant funding for the other subdivisions in the city. So.
Thank you.
Thanks.
I make a motion to approve consent agenda number 5.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? We have no opposed. Diane, please let the record show that consent agenda item 5 was approved 5-0. All right, moving to the regular agenda. Agenda item R1 is a public hearing for second reading and adoption of ordinance number 887 and application number 17-0071, an application by Cutler and Herring. The applicant is seeking a small-scale future land use map amendment to change the use designation for a parcel of land totaling approximately 5.55 acres from the open space future land use designation to the commercial land use designation, located at 10701 Okeechobee Boulevard. Bradford, you're on.
Great, thank you, Mayor. The applicant has indicated in their justification statement that the ultimate goal is to develop this property to operate in conjunction with the First Baptist Church or the Connect Church to the west of this site. And as you stated, Mayor, this is the second reading of this application. In reviewing the comprehensive plan amendments, village staff considered consistency of the proposed changes with elements of the comprehensive plan, consistency with the vision for the future of the village, compliance with state law, and whether the action requested would exacerbate any existing public facility capacity deficits. Overall, the proposed site is in conformance with the village's comprehensive plan. All future submittals for this site will be subject to the commercial future land use designation, the general commercial zoning district development standards, and the deed restrictions and reverter clauses for the site, and will follow the village's review process to ensure compliance. The local planning agency considered this application on April 23rd, 2019, and recommended approval by a vote of 5-0. Village Council considered Ordinance 887 on first reading on May 16th, 2019, and recommended approval by a vote of 5-0. And staff is recommending approval of this application, and I'll turn the floor back over to you, Mayor. Thank you.
Thank you, Bradford. Is anyone from the applicant here? Would you like to make any comments? So you're satisfied with the way it was presented? Okay, thank you. Do we have any questions from members on council? No? Seeing none, would it be by title?
Thank you, Mayor. Ordinance 887, ordinance of the Village Council, Village of Royal Palm Beach, Florida, adopting an amendment to the comprehensive development plan in accordance with mandates set forth in section 163, 3187 at sequence Florida statutes pursuant to privately initiated application number 17-0071 SCPA, which provides for an amendment to the village future land use map designating 5.55 plus or minus acres more or less of real property as com-commercial, which property is located at 10701 Okeechobee Boulevard and formerly known as Lot 1 of the Capstone at Royal Palm Plat, further providing for transmittal to the State Land Planning Agency, providing conflicts clause, severability clause, and effective date, and for other purposes.
Okay. If there are no further questions or comments from members of council, I'll look for a motion.
Motion to approve regular agenda item 1.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Diane, please let the record show that regular agenda item 1 was approved 5-0. Agenda item R2 is also a public hearing for first reading of ordinance number 902 and approval of application number 17-0070, an application by Cutler and Herring. The applicant is seeking a rezoning of a parcel of land totaling approximately 5.55 acres from the townhouse residential zoning designation to the general commercial zoning district, located at 10701 Okeechobee Boulevard. This is a quasi-judicial item, so I'd like you to be sworn in.
Thank you, Mayor. Speaking to the Village Council on this matter, I do need to place you under oath. Please raise your right hands. Each of you swear or affirm under penalties of perjury that your testimony to the Village Council will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth.
Yes.
Thank you. And then coming back to council, I would need to ask if any of you have had any ex parte discussions regarding this matter. If you have, those would need to be disclosed for the record at this time.
None?
None.
Thank you, Mayor.
Okay.
The applicant is seeking rezoning of a parcel of land totaling 5.55 acres from the Townhouse Residential Zoning District to the General Commercial Zoning District. The site is currently vacant, and this is the same site as the previous item on tonight's agenda. In reviewing the proposed rezoning of the parcel to the General Commercial Zoning District, village staff considered compatibility with adjacent land uses, consistency with the village's comprehensive plan of conformance with the General Commercial Zoning District development standards in section 2689, specifically as it relates to parcel size, parcel width, setbacks, and pervious area. The local planning agency considered this application and approved or recommended approval of this application by a vote of 5-0, and staff is recommending approval of this application. And I'll turn the floor over to you, Mayor. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Does the applicant want to make any comments? All right, and you're satisfied with the way it was presented? Represented, okay. I do not have any comment cards. I didn't do this in the first one. I don't have any, because I don't have any comment cards. I don't have any comment cards for agenda item, regular agenda item number 2, but if anyone would like to comment, now would be the time. Okay, so I'm closing public comment on agenda item R2. But even though we voted on agenda item R1, I also would open up anyone who wants to make comments on that agenda item as well, since I failed to do that. Seeing none, then I will officially close public comment on agenda item R1 as well. All right, so if there are any comments from members on council? If there are none, I'll look for a motion.
I'll move to approve regular agenda item number 2.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. All in favor?
I'll need to read that by title, Mayor.
Go ahead.
Thank
Gotcha.
you. Our ordinance 902, ordinance of the Village Council, Village of Royal Palm Beach, Florida, providing for the rezoning of certain real property within the corporate limits of the village, which property consists of one parcel of land comprising a total of 5.55 plus or minus acres more or less, located at 10701 Okeechobee Boulevard, informally known as Lot 1 of the Capstone at Royal Palm Plat, providing that this parcel of real property, which is more specifically described herein, shall be assigned the village zoning designation of CG, General Commercial District, providing that the zoning map of the Village of Royal Palm Beach be amended to reflect the proper designation for this parcel of real property, providing conflicts clause, severability clause, and effective date and for other purposes.
Okay. Once again, we have a motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? We have no opposed. Diane, please let the record show that agenda item R2 is approved 5-0. Agenda item R3 is a public hearing to consider application number 18-0078, an application by Urban Design Kilday Studios, an approval of ordinance number 992. The applicant is seeking a change of land use designation for a parcel of land totaling approximately 13.144 acres from Palm Beach County's low residential 2 designation, land use designation, to the village's open space land use designation, located on the south side of Southern Boulevard, approximately 0.27 miles west of State Road 7.
Great. Thank you again, Mayor. The site currently has several single-family homes on large tracts. The applicant has indicated in their justification statement that the ultimate goal is for Pod 8 to be the receiving area for the recreation obligations for Pod 2, 3, and 4, for a total of approximately 10 acres. The remaining acreage is the area within the Florida Power and Light easement. In reviewing the proposed future land use map amendment, village staff considered compatibility with adjacent land uses, consistency with the village's comprehensive plan, and whether the actions requested would exacerbate any existing public facility capacity deficits. Overall, the proposed future land use amendment from Palm Beach County low residential land use to the village's Royal Palm Beach open space land use designation is consistent with the village's comprehensive plan, compatible with adjacent future land uses, and meets all relevant concurrency level of service standards. Finally, the proposed land use amendment package is consistent with the requirements of Chapter 163 of Florida statutes concerning the requirements for the processing of future land use map amendments. The local planning agency will hear this application on June 25th. Staff is recommending approval of ordinance 992, and I'll turn the floor back over to you, Mayor. Thank you.
Okay, I do not have any, well, is there an applicant here for this?
I don't see one, Mayor, no.
Okay, so let the record show the applicant was not present. Once again, I have no comment cards on agenda item R3, but if anyone would like to comment, now would be the time. Seeing none, then I'm closing public comment on agenda item R3 and looking for comments from members on council after, don't read yet. No comments from members on council, then
Thank you, Mayor. Ordinance 992, ordinance of the Village Council, Village of Royal Palm Beach, Florida, adopting an amendment to its comprehensive development plan in accordance with the mandate set forth in Section 163-3184 at Sequence Florida statutes pursuant to a privately initiated application number 180078 LSCPA, which provides for an amendment to the village land use map designating 13.144 plus or minus acres more or less of real property as OS open space, which property is located on the south side of Southern Boulevard and approximately 0.27 miles west of State Road 7/US 441, informally known as the Southern Boulevard Properties Pod 8 and FPL easement area, further providing for transmittal to the State Land Planning Agency, providing a conflicts clause, severability clause, and effective date, and for other purposes.
okay, thank you. If there are no comments from members on council, I'll look for a motion.
I make a motion to approve regular agenda item number 3.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? We have no opposed. Diane, please let the record show that agenda item R3 was approved, 5-0. Okay, agenda item R4 is a public hearing in first reading and approval of ordinance number 991, amending Chapter 8, Elections of the Village Code of Ordinance to provide that the Village of Royal Palm Beach shall hold its next municipal election on March 17th, 2020, in conjunction with the presidential preference primary election. Oh, go ahead.
Thank you, Mayor. This is pretty close to a housekeeping matter. I'm sure the council will recall 4 years ago, the last time we had a presidential preference, we had to change the date, both for economy of election and the supervisor of elections has taken the position it's just not possible to turn around a municipal election 1 week after the primary election since it uses the same equipment and software and such. So the village changed its code 4 years ago in 2016 to do this. So this ordinance proposes essentially to do the same thing this year and change the election date to March 17th, which would coincide with the presidential primary. So it's the third Tuesday instead of typical second Tuesday. And it also adjusts the qualifying period for the municipal election accordingly and proposes to make the qualifying period be the first 7 business days in the month of December of this year.
Got it. Okay. I don't have any comments from the public, any comment cards for agenda item R4, but if anyone from the public would like to comment, now would be the time. Seeing none, I'm closing public comment for agenda item R4. Are there any members on council who may have a comment or a question? If not, I'll look for a motion.
Motion to approve regular agenda item 4.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? We have no opposed. Diane, please let the record show that agenda item R4 was approved, 5-0. Now, agenda item R5 is approval and authorization for the village council to select a new village slogan. You want to help us do this, Ray?
Sure.
Okay.
So as part of our 60th birthday and success as a hometown family community over the last 3 decades, we thought maybe it was time to look at our slogan. Our slogan currently is a tranquil community. So we're thinking, well, maybe there's another one out there that's more appropriate and more in line with our vision and our mission statement. So we put it out there, and we got several responses from the public, and from staff, and I put a committee together of 5 of us, 2 from Parks and Rec, myself, and 2 other department heads. And we kind of looked at them all and ranked them what we thought were the best slogans for Royal Palm Beach. And what we came up with, depending on how you score it, we came up with 2 of them. The first one, home to family and friends, that was if you were take just the number of times it showed up. That one showed up in 4 of the 5 people that were on the committee. And then the other one is a place we call home. And that one, if you rank how each of the members on the committee ranked them. So a first place would get 5 points, a 5th place would get 1 point. And when you do that, that comes up with 13 points versus home to family and friends of 10 points. So that's what we did, and as a group, we're recommending a place we call home. Now, we did run this by our communication professional. He suggested that we might want to look at the word "we" and make it "you," a place you call home, or leave it as a place we call home. The number one goal, I think, of this was to replace the tranquil community slogan that we have today. Whether this is the best slogan for us and hits all the emotional ties to most of our residents, I don't know. Whether there's a better one out there, maybe, I don't know. But we felt pretty comfortable. This is a good one for now.
But your recommendation is actually a place you call home.
Yeah, I think that's more inclusive.
You're part of it. It's not.
Yeah.
Not just
We
us.
is we're here, and maybe we'll
Right.
maybe others could too, maybe not. You is more inclusive than we.
Okay, excuse me. Okay, I have no comment cards on agenda item R5, but if anyone from the public really wants to comment on this, boy, now would be the time.
Help us out here.
Understanding now, the way we did this, we put this out, in fact, Lou Recchio and the Parks Department put this out to the community, all right, to send in suggestions. And we got a fair number of suggestions, and that's really where all of this emanated from. So, but if you still, it's last chance, public, going once, going twice. Okay, seeing that, I'm closing public comment then on agenda item R5. And then we'll open up discussion here. Selena.
Thank you very much for doing it. And yes, I think there was quite the opportunity to submit something. I think you guys did a really good job with that and paring it all down. I just, for the record, wanted to announce a couple of them that I really liked that didn't make the cut. So there was A Community So Fine Since 1959, a great step for womankind, and I think my ultimate favorite one was Where's the Beach?
Actually, we're working on that.
So thank you very much to everybody who submitted entries for it. I appreciate it.
Okay. Anyone else? Okay, so I guess I'll ask initially, is there a consensus around a place you call home? Anyone that's...
I would suggest you is better, as I
do too. I like you better.
told the manager in our meeting. It's actually the exact slogan of Cascade, Iowa, a place we call home.
Oh,
So
that takes...
at least changing the U isn't making us copycats.
I'm just curious, how did you find out that little piece of nugget
Google.
information?
You just look at it. I mean, you plug it into the internet and see if any other place has the same slogan. Because that was one thing to me. I didn't want to look like we were copying
All
someone
right.
else.
Well, that's very
Appreciate
good.
that.
So
But you
that's
sure
why
that
I
everything
agree
on
with
the
the
internet
U.
is not,
The
but
U
everything on the internet's
changed.
not true. Did you
That's
verify
true.
that?
It's on the municipal stage.
Councilman Valentes brought up the U, so that's very nice. Thank you.
Okay.
Just in time for draft season.
What do you guys think?
I like it.
Yeah.
We're good with a place
Place you call home.
you call home? You call home?
I like it.
All right, can we get a motion then?
I make a motion to approve our new village slogan as a place you call home.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? No opposed. Diane, please let the record show not only that agenda item R5 was approved 5-0, but put in there, we approve a place you call home. Okay. Thank you all very much. There's no further comments, no further business before this council this evening. We are adjourned. Thank you all.